Hi, everybody. I am Chauntay from the Tay and Tristan Hour podcast. So this week, I am just doing kind of like a little bit of a separate little video. We're still recording a new episode this week, but over the last week or two, we've taken a little bit of a hiatus. Of course, we had the Super Bowl. Of course, we were going with the Chiefs, but that didn't pan out very well. So I am back this week. Me and Tristan will be putting out a new episode of the Tay and Tristan Hour this week. So please make sure that you check that out. We're actually going to be uploading a new episode of our podcast on Tuesday of this week. So it will actually be episode number 42, I believe. Okay. So, for right now, I just kind of wanted to do a quick little video and just kind of do like a process. Kind of like a process therapy group thing going on. So there's a lot of things that are going on in our world right now. Nothing political. I'm not talking about anything political. So this is just life is crazy. Life is busy. As many of you know, I am an addiction counselor. I do counseling. And so one of the things that I feel is so important for not only a lot of us out there, but me as well, is self-care. Like, how are you taking care of yourself right now? And it's not just like, am I eating right? Am I exercising? It is also, how am I taking care of myself mentally? How am I taking care of myself emotionally? Spiritually, right? So what I really wanted to discuss in this video is just like the different types of self-care. What are the different types? Why is it important for us to take care of ourselves? You know, we are living in a climate today where everything is so self-paced and everything is traumatic and everything is chaos, and the world moves so fast that we really have to take a step back. We really kind of have to think like, man, like, I'm so fatigued and tired at the end of the day, which I'm sure a lot of you out there are feeling that way. So, I feel it a lot, even in my work, in personal life, there are just days where you feel bleh. Okay. So, there's several different types of self-care. I really want to go through really quick, for you guys, just because, I don't know, it's just on my heart to do it today. I have been wanting to do some of these kind of short videos outside of our regular 1 hour or hour and a half podcast that we do every week, something that is just my own little video and my little bit of informational content for you guys. So the different types of self-care for a lot of people. So the first one is like our emotional self-care, right? So processing our emotions is a really hard thing to do. Sometimes I don't even know if we know what we're feeling. Sometimes, most of the times, we just kind of chalk it up to it is frustration or anger. Frustration usually leads to anger most of the time. So when our negative emotions usually spiral out of control, they impact our personal lives, our professional lives. They impact our personal relationships and our professional relationships. So you have to ask yourself, what am I doing to really take care of myself emotionally? And so one of the things that I personally like to do is I love to go for a walk, and exercise, of course, is one on this list. So one of the things I do is I will put in my earbuds and I'll listen to music. And it doesn't matter, my husband's calling me. One of the things that I will do is I will listen to music. I will go for a walk. I will do things that really kind of get me out of any sort of negative headspace. I will do one of the lists here. It talks about gratitude journaling. You know, there sometimes may be days where you wake up and you're just, sometimes, as they say, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You just don't feel like doing today. My favorite phrase is, I don't feel like adulting today. So, you know, something that can help kind of break us out of that funk is, you can make a list, like 2 or 3 things that you are extremely grateful for. One thing that I usually will say is like, I'm grateful that I can move my arms today. I'm grateful that I can see. I'm grateful, well, most of the time I wear glasses, but you get the gist. I'm grateful that I can get up and I can move. There's a lot of people who don't have mobility. There's a lot of people who can't, you know, get up and walk. They're confined to wheelchairs. I mean, whatever it may be. I mean, I'm grateful that, you know, I have a job and I have a roof over my head. Just finding something within your day that to start your day to be grateful for. Okay. We have to learn how to break that cycle of negativity, right? So gratitude journaling is really great. Any type of therapy, if you need to go to counseling for your emotional self-care. If you're really dealing with, if stress is just so overwhelming, if you tried the journaling, if you tried exercise, if you've tried music therapy, talk therapy definitely can help an individual get to the root of what's really going on. Meditation, yoga, Pilates, art, you know, some people take art classes, they, you know, brunch with friends, eating, I mean, finding something, nature walks. I know in some places of the country, it's really cold and it's hard to get out and go for a walk. But, you know, spring will be coming around the corner. So definitely getting out into nature can help get your mind and shift into a more positive mindset, right? So making sure you're doing something to take care of yourself emotionally is so important right now, okay? Mental self-care is also important. It's very similar to emotional, but not quite. So your mental stimulation is like learning new things, right? This helps with our energy and our outlook on life, right? So life gets very stagnant. So we kind of become, I think, in the mindset of like, we're robots, and it's kind of like a wash, rinse, and repeat, right? So you get up, you have breakfast, you get into your car, you're in traffic, you get to work, you go through your work day, you have lunch, you go back to work, you leave work, you clock out, you know, you're in traffic, home, dinner, deal with the kids, homework, whatever your schedule looks like. And then you get up, go to bed, get up, and you do it all over again. So that mental stagnation is like extremely overwhelming and can be just puts us in a funk. So how do we pull ourselves out of that mentally? Well, it's mental stimulation. So it's kind of stepping outside of the box and doing things for yourself that maybe you've never done before. So, you know, for me, one of the things, I only did it once. So I want to learn how to swim. So I'm 47 years old. I have never learned how to swim. I'm terrified. Like, my biggest fear is death by drowning. Okay. But it is also very exciting for me to learn how to swim. And it's something that's mentally stimulating for me. So I am going to be doing that in 2025. Also, it's, you know, any activity learning to do, you know, if you want to learn how to play golf, if you want to learn how to become an artist, if you want to learn how to draw, if, you know, any activity, It talks about reading or listening to a new book or podcast. A lot of people listen to audiobooks now. You know, if reading is never really your thing, but listening to a podcast like the Tay and Tristan Hour, that would be amazing. Or doing a brain teaser, trying out a new hobby, whatever it is, finding something that maybe you've always had a passion to do, but either never had the time or just emotionally were not in a great place to do it. And so this is stepping outside of the box a little bit. I think in 2025, and just kind of with changes that are going on around us and kind of this uncertainty and, you know, the 24-hour news cycle, and it's never good news, or the good news is just overwhelmed by the bad, is that, you know, we need to take a step back and we need to just kind of be like, man, you know, life is too short. I really want to enjoy my life. Ask yourself, what is something I've always wanted to do, and go do it. Okay. That is mental self-care. So, anything that gets you out of a mental rut is mental self-care. Okay. So just remember that anything that gets you out of a mental rut is mental self-care. Okay. Another type of self-care is our physical self-care. So this goes back to what I was saying, you know, exercise, the expression, a sound mind and a sound body. Old-fashioned statement, but very, very true. Okay. So, it's a core principle of self-care. So our physical self-care include a healthy diet. Like I'm currently paying for a yoga program that is online, but it comes with where I can track my weight, I can track my heart rate, I weigh in like every 4 weeks online. It comes with, you know, I bought a like tape, like a body measurement, where I'm actually measuring like my body, which I've never done before. You know, I have tried several different healthy recipes off of there that actually taste quite good, which I was surprised about. But low calories, low fat. I have to have some fat because I have to have taste. And, you know, drinking more water, cutting out a lot of the sugars, trying to cut out soda, but it's really hard. And then I exercise. So I try to get in at least a mile walk, at least a minimum of twice per week. And now I'm trying to up that to at least 1.5 miles and then 2 miles. So any type, whatever your body is able to do can help. So regular exercise and then plenty of sleep. So the sleep piece of this is really important for your physical self-care, because at night you really have to, your body needs the time to rejuvenate. Like we should be in a REM sleep cycle every night. Like we should actually be dreaming. When you're dreaming, that's when you're in REM sleep. And so we want to get to that point where we're in a deep sleep. A lot of people will take melatonin. They will, which is fine if you need to take melatonin to get to sleep. Sometimes people suffer with insomnia and other things. So, you know, adopting like daily healthy routines, you know, anything that kind of really helps your body relax is extremely helpful. So like I take like a stress relief tea, completely healthy. And then I also use like a bedtime tea that helps relax the muscles in my body. I take it probably like an hour before bedtime. It's very, very helpful. So definitely, and it's actually Yogi. The brand is Yogi, that you can get at Walmart or Publix or any grocery store, probably the health food store too if you want, but pretty reasonably priced and tastes really great. So physical self-care is different for everybody. It's definitely most effective when an individual identifies their goals and steps that they want to take to achieve them. So anything, whatever your goals are, however often you can exercise, you know, even if you're sitting down and you're exercising, great. If you're moving they have like I don't know what they are. It's kind of like, it's not like a treadmill under your desk, but if you're sitting down watching TV and you're moving your legs, I mean, anything that's getting blood circulating and anything that's releasing natural endorphins is great, okay? Another piece of this is like social self-care. Of course, I have my papers here. So social self-care is important. And I'm going to read this because it's important. So this is according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC. And it talks about loneliness and social isolation are associated with higher rates of depression, suicide, and death. And this is according to the CDC. So, you know, we live in a world where everything is through social media. And people do still connect personally, but I think a lot of us connect personally with people we already know. And it can be difficult to, for people to connect with other people, meet new people. I don't know if that's something that occurs as people get older. I know, like, I'm 47 and I connect with a lot of people through church and the church that I attend. It's great, you know, but it's still kind of like, I can still have the feeling sometimes like I'm in high school and it's kind of like, I don't know what to say. Or if everybody stops talking, there's like the lull. Nobody's quiet, but it should, you know, eventually it'll get comfortable and, you know, but, you know, we should not be, we need human connection. That we are not meant to be, as humans, we are not meant to be alone. Like, we're not. It's not okay. So we should be connecting with other people, okay? So if you don't have friends, if you don't have family that you have like really healthy relationships with, you should at least definitely be trying to get out and meet people. But it's hard, you know, like we live in just, I think, sometimes a vacuum through our phone. This is how we connect with people. So if you're connecting with people through social media, and, you know, just make sure you're connecting with people that are healthy for you. Okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Just make sure you're connecting with healthy people. Okay. So because relationships and friendships can be a source of stress, and this goes back to the emotional and the mental self-care. So if you're not connecting with people that are healthy for you and good people, then it's just going to cause more chaos and you're just going to have to do more self-care, right? So social self-care is complicated. So something that may work for one person that you made, it's not going to work for somebody else. Something that works for me ain't going to work for you. So it's just, you know, you got to find what works. Okay. I have always been an introvert. And then I think as I got older and I stopped caring what people thought about me, or getting over this fear of being judged by other people, is when I was able to actually kind of meet people. It's almost kind of like people become drawn to you because you don't have a wall up, and people can pick up on that. Okay. We can sense things about other people. We know when people are approachable and when they're not. And if you're approachable and you have a kind face and your aura and your energy is welcoming, you're going to attract that as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it's staying connected with family. I'm very close with my family. My husband is with me all the time. My son is here. I'm connected with my sisters and my mom. And, you know, I have, you know, friends, and I'm connected with my church. So that's what works for me. So you have to find what works for you. Okay. This is our fifth one. Our fifth self-care type is our spiritual self-care. So some people are spiritual, some people are religious, and you may ask yourself, what is the difference? You know, spiritual, some people may not believe in God. They may not believe in Jesus Christ. You know, and there's just be like the universe and astrology and other things. Okay. Which is fine if they believe in that. You know, for me, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ, and that's my faith. So spiritually, I read the Bible every morning. I pray every day, every night. That is my spiritual self-care, and that brings me calm, that brings me peace. It doesn't mean I still don't have like stress, but I find I rely on my faith to help me work through it and get through it. If that's not your way, you need to find something that is connecting you to where you have some inner peace and calm, right? So you can tend to your spiritual needs through regular prayer. You can tend to it through meditation or meetings with the spiritual advisor, or any sort of self-care plan, like whatever that looks like for you. Okay. But it's important. Like I said, for me, it is through reading my Bible and it is through prayer. Okay. But everybody, I believe, has a spiritual need. Everybody. Everybody has one. This says not everyone does. No, everybody has a spiritual need in their life. I think that some people just don't connect into it. So we need to be connecting to that. And spiritual self-care is extremely important because it is so much connected to our emotional self-care and our mental self-care. Okay, so there's nothing is exclusive what I'm talking about today. So there's not one that doesn't feed into the other. They're all connected. Number 6 is our professional and our educational self-care. So for those of you that are in school and working full time, those responsibilities are extremely overwhelming. Sometimes if we're trying to manage too many things, you have to stop and you got to take a step back and you have to start prioritizing what things have to be done right now and what things can wait, because there's a lot that can. We live in a world now where people don't have patience. People don't have patience. Everything has to be now, when really it doesn't. There's a lot of things, even with work, that can, there are certain things where you can wait for 24 hours for things to be done. It's fine. There are certain things that have to be done right away, and that's fine. Those are the things that you prioritize. So I think it's fine. It's with this, like, I have had to work on time management. I have had to, that's been the biggest thing, time management. Setting goals for myself, and then setting boundaries too. Like, you can set boundaries with people that you work with. You can set boundaries with, if you're dealing with professors or school, you can set boundaries with your coworkers. You can set these boundaries with other people, because if you don't, you're constantly going to be working. You're not going to have time for anything else. So you have to have a very strong work-life balance. Okay. And this is setting boundaries is something that you have to learn to say no. It's okay. You can say no. And you can say it in a way that is respectful to people when you need to set boundaries. Okay. And it's not just, this is talking about professional, educational with setting boundaries, but you need to set boundaries in our personal lives too. There's many times I've had to say, no, I can't do that, or no, I'm not going to do that because I need to take care of myself, and maybe I want to just enjoy my life today. So that's perfectly fine. You can absolutely do that. And it's necessary to do that because we deserve to enjoy our life. It's okay. And then number 7 for the self-care is our financial self-care. So definitely financial stress, and definitely this probably plays more of a role into what we're dealing with in our society right now today, with the price of eggs alone being very expensive. But not only that, rent prices being high, just trying to make ends meet can be extremely stressful. So financial is always that one thing that is extremely stressful. Like finances and trying to manage money and budget and afford everything and not worry about from day to day. Okay. So, so how do you alleviate some of the anxiety? Definitely you just kind of budget, really, and then just kind of identifying the things that you absolutely need, and then kind of separating out the things you need from the things that you want. You can always make like a list of the things that you want, but those are usually things that can wait. What is it that I need? And what is it that I need to pay off right now? What is something that I can kind of wait and try to budget and figure it out? What are the necessities I have? Have to have food, have to have gas, but how can I like budget my meal prep? Can I meal prep? Can I eat off of something for, can make crock pot meals or slow cooker meals, as I say now. You probably don't say crock pot, it's probably an 80s term. But, can I, put a meal in the slow cooker and eat off of that for a couple of days? Identifying areas where you can definitely cut back. How much is in your retirement fund? How much is in my 401k? How much can I contribute out of my paycheck? Really sitting down and figuring out the budget. Do I need to have this streaming service? Do I need to pay for Amazon Prime? Do I need to have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus? Do I need to have all of those things? Those are wants, And we want all of those things, of course, because we want to enjoy life. And maybe that's probably somebody's mental self-care, is like, I want to sit and watch Netflix all weekend. Nothing wrong with that. But maybe that's the only streaming service you get. And that's expensive enough, but does it fit into your budget? That's the thing, because there's a lot of free streaming services that have really great films that you don't need to pay for Netflix. So there's a lot of options. So I mean, that's just an example. Like, I love Netflix and I have it, but I go back and forth because sometimes the rates just be too high. So that is my self-care. So I'm going to recap and go back through all of the different types of self-care I went through in this video. So the first one was your emotional self-care. So remember, any negative emotions that's brought out of control, how do I shift and do some really great journaling, meditation, do something fun, okay? Get out of the house. Mental self-care. Physical self-care, your social self-care, so get out and make some new friends, right? Spiritual self-care, your professional and educational, and then your financial, okay? So that's just what that is for this week. So, just remember, everybody, to get out there, just remember just to take care of yourself in every way possible. Don't let the small things in life overwhelm you. They come and they go. Focus on yourself. Focus on your family. And best of all, just give yourself grace. Show yourself love. All right, everybody. Well, until our next segment in another week, I will see you all then. Ta-ta for now.